Hi, my question is for John, and just I guess talking about newspapers in general. In terms of website video content and our abilities to do that, what would you advise us to do if we get a story, say in a newsroom, and we could make it video or audio? Would you recommend that we suggest that, or we wait for people to suggest it to us?
It's death if you wait in a newsroom for anything. It's death to you as an intern. You'll be waiting a long time. I think the case in most newsrooms is that the number of editors has declined. They're multitasking. They have a heavier workload. And if you come in and quietly sit at your desk from assignment and wait, you'll be sitting there a long time. You'll be overlooked. You need to get in an editor's face. At the Post, we have a multimedia studio. We do video. We do more podcasts. The nature of the videos we do tend to be more featurey. I think that reflects sort of the production time involved and the logistics of doing it. But it's certainly something in your favor that you can do a video and a podcast, and you need to make, I think you would need to pitch a story that you could publish across all the platforms, print, podcast, video, and you need to do it like early, make the editor aware that it works this way, and I think 9 times out of 10 you would find the editor would say it's a great idea, go for it.
Thank you.
Oh, come on, you buddy.
Yeah, you're so quiet. I mean, this can't be.
Hi, I just wanted to know, for all of us who maybe are thinking a couple years down the line, we like to get into positions being editors in newspapers, magazines, online, etc. What's important to know about the transition from being a reporter to a more, I guess, senior position in being an editor, and what's your advice for us when we would be making that transition, and how do you stick out to get to a point where you can be offered one of those roles?
Well, from a magazine perspective, I think it's really helpful if you arm yourself with some knowledge about the documents of the trade. So it'll vary hugely from place to place, certainly, but taking an editor for coffee and asking them what they use, it's really helpful to us when people have experience coming in on how to create a background concept document on a story. So deciding to determine what a story would be, how to write assignment letters, very concise assignment letters that will bring in precisely the story that you want, how to substantive edit pieces. So those front-end editorial tasks that are critical to getting the right story the right way. And an area of mine, pet area of mine, is certainly business skills. I was lucky enough to fumble my way through the first half of university. I started out with economics, and what that meant is I ended up with a minor in business administration, where I had taken a couple of accounting classes, university level accounting classes, and those have been tremendously helpful to me as an editor, because now I'm the go-to person in my company when it comes to helping editorial staffs create and manage and stick to a budget. And in this climate, that's essential. And I will get more money for my magazine because my business manager knows that if I get 10% more, they will get 10% more value, because we know exactly how we're spending it. We have a very tight plan, and we can add, every penny is more value on the page. So giving yourself some of those business and finance skills, I think, would be really helpful. Aside from that, I guess trying to maybe take some classes in some of the departments. It's also been very helpful to me that I took a production class, so I understand how to create a pagination. I understand what about paper, and this sort of thing, and about images and processing. That's really helpful in just making everything go smoothly. And similarly, circulation strategies and online strategies and metrics, and just trying to understand as much of the business as possible means that you'll be fluent in that language and you'll just naturally fit in.
I think the one thing as well is that for online, and I'll speak particularly about general interest portals, is that the editors need to have a really solid understanding of how sales works, because you're not going to escape it. You're going to be working with sales, and because they will come to you and say, we have just sold World Cup, the World Cup section, for example, we've just sold it to a major sponsor. What can we do? And that's when your expertise as editors and how to create content will be able to help the sponsor and generate the revenue that they're looking for.
I'm going to distinguish between different types of editors. There are entry-level editors who do production work. I'm thinking of copy editors and news aggregators on the website, and those are important jobs. I find students often overlook them. I can tell you of the steady stream of interns we've had through the Post. The person who was on our night copy desk is going to stay. They're not leaving. There's at least 2 department heads vying for that person online, and our night news desk want to keep the student. So don't overlook a position as a copy editor when you're trying to break into a newsroom. Also, refer to aggregators. We have people on our website called news producers. That's a big part of what they do. And for that, you need research skills. To get into that position, you need like a strong Twitter feed or a lively blog. You need to understand how the web works. And you'll often just be turned loose on a topical story of the hour, and then it's up to you to know where to go on the web, which sources to pull, and put a story together. And the person who runs our website was at pains to tell you, to ask me to tell you, you need to know how to spell, you need to know how to do punctuation, you need to know grammar and syntax. You would be shocked at how little there is between you putting it together on your screen and hundreds of thousands of people across the country reading what you have written. And one thing about Post readers, they're an older demographic. If you use a word incorrectly, the phones start ringing. You will hear about it. You will hear about it. It's a very basic thing, but it's an important skill. Don't overlook it. Those are production level editors. I'll talk about assignment editors. It's a bizarre combination of thick skin and unrelenting optimism if you're going to be an editor who oversees people. Usually you pay your dues as a reporter, and that is helpful when it comes your turn to oversee reporters. It's helpful. You understand and you can sympathize with the trials and tribulations they're going through, and more importantly, you can know when they are giving you a line and they're just being lazy, and you can call them on it. Assignment editors, newsroom managers, section editors, you're in the middle. You are getting it from the people you oversee, and you are getting it from your bosses. And you need to have good people skills. You need to be able to listen to the people you oversee, and you act as a filter. You are told things, you're given orders by your bosses, things you have to do, and you have to make that palatable for the people you work for, and at the same time you have to lobby for them. You have to make sure that your bosses know what the situation is on the newsroom floor. So it's a big challenge to be that kind of a manager in a newsroom, and some people really thrive on it, and quite frankly there are a lot of good reporters who fail miserably at it.